Good evening, this is a BCN News Bulletin. Firstly, the Niue legislative budget talks continued yesterday with the Niue Public Service Commission report. The near-completion discussions had delayed slightly after yesterday's lengthened discussions with government's employment body as Honourable Premier Toke Tahalangi took leave to attend the Polynesian Leaders Group meeting in Auckland prior to the Pacific Leaders Forum meeting in Majuro, Marshall Islands. A date has yet to be confirmed for the continuation of talks as the members of the House anticipate the report from one of the newest and fastest growing commercial arms of government, set to submit its operations to the House for discussion. We will bring you more on this news story in our future news bulletin. Government's Employment Authority has taken disciplinary action in the case of a police officer alleged to have been involved in a domestic assault. For the past few weeks, the Niue Public Service Commission has been working in line with the Niue Police to resolve the matter. According to the Commission, a report was presented by Niue Police and they have also received an apologetic letter from the officer admitting fault and regret. The officer in question has been reinstated following a lengthy process to resolve what the Commission is calling a very sensitive issue. The Niue Public Service Commission says they have regulations and policies that they follow in dealing with any employees. Although there has been much talk on the matter, the Commission can only base its decision on what is on record, and according to the officer's file, he has a clean record. Mrs. Tukiuha says the officer has been reinstated back to the force on a 12-month probationary period, and if in breach of the arrangements set out by the Commission, that could be cause for automatic termination. Commissions have stated that this serves as a reminder that internal disciplinary measures need to be documented and strengthened, not only in the police force, but the public service in general. Niue's only local sport representative left the island on Tuesday to the South Pacific mini-games in Wallace and Futuna. Youngster Jinam Hopotoa left with Chief de Mission Alentano to join one other representative, Danny Nemani. Jinam Hopotoa, who is a well-known sportsman despite his young age, will compete against some of the best in the Pacific in shot put and javelin. Alentano previously said young Jinam is very dedicated to his sport and well presented in many events on the island, a great role model for many young sportsters. Danny Nemani, on the other hand, will represent Niue in the weightlifting competition. He is also hoping to increase in the ranks and previously stated would like to take gold in the competition. 24 countries are confirmed to take part in the Games, with 8 sporting events scheduled for competition. We wish Jinam and Danny the very best of luck in their competitions. An ambitious dream could become a reality for an expansion of elderly health care on the island. Matt Wilson, a 16-year-old from New Zealand, reported he would like to become an architect and construct somewhere for elderly Niue hospital people to relax with a good buzz. The challenge is reported to be a challenge by Matt Wilson's father, Gary, to design, build and donate a structure to satisfy a worthwhile community in need. Today we caught up with Wilson Sr.
No, he's stepped up to the challenge. Originally the project was a lot smaller. It was for the high school and it was going to be something like a library in a container. But as it's progressed through to the old folks home, it has got a lot more complicated. But there's a lot of people that have stepped up to the mark and are going to help him, so he'll be fine. Previously when we've been here, we've seen how it's a fantastic community, and I think Cyclone Heta was a major blow to the island. So being able to give something back to such a beautiful country is a privilege for us.
It's very generous for a 16-year-old to come up with, all this hard work.
It is, but he won't be able to achieve it by himself. We're in the research phase now. It will go on to the design phase and then the fundraising phase, and that's going to be a big job. And when we get to that stage, we'll be asking for community support, both here in Niue and back in New Zealand.
Matt had to self-fund the project by finding sponsors, fundraising and getting donations for the project. Wilson Sr. said the project is one way for his son to learn, but he also had good intentions.
He's 16, he's leaving school at the end of next year and he's thinking about going to university to study architecture. So I wanted to give him something to introduce him into the adult world and something to make him passionate about architecture. And because he had to self-fund it, it had to be a community project. When the time comes, to be generous, when you live in a community, you're not an individual. To be in a part of a community, you have to be involved in the whole community. The old folk now are in a situation where they're away from the main part of the community, and I suppose it's easy for them to be forgotten. I don't know, but when the project kicks off and we're looking for funds, just be generous.
Matt Wilson, in a report, said he wants to be an architect at university and hopes the project will get him there. He hopes to have the space to be built by the Christmas holidays and then rebuilt in Niue in April. A local group of youth have taken an idea and made it a reality with the launch of their first CD album at the La Capa show day. The OBL crew have been working on the project for a few months and say it has been a challenge juggling work, school, sports and other commitments. For the group's creative music producer, Keen Kaukasi, this is a journey that started some 6 years ago as a hobby.
It was just a hobby. I had a program on my lappy and I was just mucking around in it like day by day, and then I got more interested into it, and then after that I started making more beats like after school and when I'm at home, and I just start learning through YouTube tutorials, and inspired by some other people out there in New Zealand who's doing it as well. Same groups, just like us, but we're trying to get Niue out there, our homeland, 683, know your roots. I use a couple of programs. Like I first got into DJ mixing. I'll use Virtual DJ and FL Studio, and but mostly FL Studio for synchronizing the acapellas with the beat I make on there. And then I got a bit bored on the DJing, so I moved on more into making songs and tracks. So I use FL Studio for recording on and making the beat, and Audacity for doing the recording, mainly recording for that. And after I finish Audacity, I edit on Audacity and I move the MP3 file onto FL Studio, and I sync it with the beat, like the part where it has to be.
The album consists of songs that have a mixture of Niuean and English lyrics. The group say their common love for music and creative use of lyrics to tell their story, but also to put Niue out there as a hub for producing great sounds. We spoke to one of the group members and vocalists about the music they have produced.
Music is part of my family too. Where I got my voice and my inspiration from was from my grandpa and my grandparents, my grandma, when she's passed. And just doing this for my family and for Niue. It's all happy and it's got a meaning behind them. So the lyrics that we do, it comes from our heart. Hopefully we get sponsors from our Niuean local businesses. So yeah, we're trying to get out there as in perform concert, make our name be heard. We're known as Earn Beats La OBL.
The group have been running on their own steam with limited equipment and funds towards a project that has been a fulfillment of a lifetime dream. But with all struggling upcoming artists, there is usually that one person who makes everything come together. So we asked them who that person was.
My mom, she was the one. Yep, shout out to my mom and current OBL manager. She was like encouraging us and It was just a couple of boys just want to do something for a hobby, which turned out to be real and muck around. We're hoping to mainly focus on the constitution that will be coming up later on in Niue. Just have our first concert there, try and get rid of like 1 or 2 tracks and the constitution, and sell some more albums, and we'll be producing some more up and coming. It's only the beginning.
This goes to show where a bit of initiative, creativity, encouragement and self-belief can get you, and that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, even in the islands. The OBL album is now on sale, and the group are hoping for better things yet to come. The industrial park in Funuakula was built primarily to provide a premises for local businesses to be operated from. This initiative started after the last cyclone on the island, which destroyed most of the existing workshops in Amanau and Aliluki areas. The business support officer of the Niue Chamber of Commerce, Gabriel Varea, said there are 23 units altogether housed in 2 separate buildings, and each unit is fitted with a separate toilet and bathroom. He said during the last 5 to 7 years, all units are being used. 12 are being used entirely for storage purposes, and 11 are being used by mechanics and builders as their workshops and part storage. The units are different in sizes and are leased out on a 3-year basis. The Chamber are aware of the need to lease these units out to business undertakings and will give them first priority during the review time over another company wanting to use the premises for storage only. Mr. Varea also said that the Chamber of Commerce welcome any calls from any businesses wanting to lease a unit at the industrial park facility. Secondary school students took a brief break from the classrooms yesterday to compete in the Niue High School cross-country run. Staff from the school, Niue Police and Niue 4 medical team were on standby for what was a challenging event. It was a 4.5-kilometer run for the girls, starting from the Kaimisi Junction, with the quickest time clocked by young Haven Siosikefu, taking 26 minutes to complete the course, getting first place for her team of Kieto. Very close second place went to Politra Liufalani with 26 minutes and 5 seconds for Langakali, and third placing went to Nina Nemaya with 26 minutes and 20 seconds for Langakali. In the boys' overall placings, their race started from Niue High School through Tuila, Kaimisi and back through Lalukafika to Niue High School. That was 7 kilometers in total. Maintaining his winning form and defending his title, first place went to Otalavo Tupuiliu with a time of 35 minutes and 3 seconds for the team of Pua. Close by in second place was young Boston Wakaheketaha with 35 minutes and 18 seconds for the team of Kieto. In third placing was Ikipa Misikea for Pua with a time of 39 minutes and 19 seconds. The next event will be the cross-country relay that will be held on Wednesday, the 4th of September. That is the conclusion of our news bulletin for tonight.